Hi, beautiful people. This is Meet with Insight, where conversations spark transformation.
All right, welcome to this awesome episode. Your favorite host, David Godwin, is my name. Yeah, today episode we are talking about something quite unique. Yeah, I wouldn't say unpopular because it's very popular, but unique in the sense that not everybody have the confidence to talk about it. And as we all know, everyone that is following this channel is a high achiever, is a dreamer, not just a dreamer, a high achiever. So, this session of the podcast, we have someone here that will tell us, because as high achievers, they always tell us that yeah, the road is not easy, but they didn't tell us the secret wars we face, the secret battles that we feel ashamed to talk about. We have someone so special here. She has been a friend for years now, and I really, really, really appreciate her. I celebrate her a lot. She's an author, a speaker, man. This is everything most of you aspire to be. That is what she is. So please do me the honor to welcome Miss Kate Edwards. You're welcome now.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you guys
Pleasure,
so much.
All right. So as you know, we are not wasting time here. We are going straight to the point. So first, ma'am, we are talking about the journey, right? So let's start from where others normally stop. As a woman carrying multiple callings, big dreams and burning visions, what did real life throw at you growing up?
Just as you said, it's real life issue. Sometimes we seems to talk about our journey from the place of perfection, like what we have achieved, what we are planning to achieve, but no one really wants to talk about the secret struggle. So what did real life throw at me growing up? A lot. A lot, I would say. But there are some things that I will start by saying I grew up in a household where I, just like many African children, we didn't really have like that parental love and attention.
Yeah.
So my parents did what they could with what they knew at the time. So I'm not saying they did not love us enough or they didn't love me enough, but it wasn't enough for me as a child. So I remember at a point in my life, I desire attention. I desire parental love and their presence. They were there, but they were actually not there. I don't know if that makes sense. They were there physically, but like we couldn't feel their love and that attention. And I remember I started maybe at age 5 or 6. I started creating scenarios in my head of the perfect family I wanted.
Wow.
Now, what happened was that there was this auntie of mine. She was beautiful. I will carry her in my imagination and attach her to a particular man who probably looks good as she, and I will imagine myself being their child and living in a particular house that wasn't the house I was living in. Wow. And imagine all the love I was craving that they were giving it to me in my imagination. Now, years later, I found out that what I was doing is called maladaptive daydreaming. It's like excessive daydreaming. It's like daydreaming addiction. But we're going to get to that.
Yeah, okay.
But later, I found out that is what it's called. 2018, when I was making research for my book, that's when I realized that is the name. And you know, there are lots of people in Africa today struggling with maladaptive daydreaming that don't even know the name.
We're coming to that.
That's what I was doing. I started creating scenarios in my head. They are like a movie. I can stay awake at night just daydreaming.
For us.
This is not daydreaming that everybody saw I daydream. It's a kind of daydreaming that I have vivid scenarios. I can literally write it into a script. Yes, where I ended yesterday, I'll wake up tomorrow and continue from there. And that daydreaming affected me. Now, that daydreaming led to so many addictions because I was living in my head practically instead of living in real life, in reality, in my presence, like every other person. I was living in my head. Why? I don't like my reality. That's what maladati daydreamers do. They escape from reality to their head because they don't like the reality they're facing and they are too scared to face it. So I was a child. I was too scared to face the reality. Okay, this house is toxic sometimes. There are some things I may not go deeply into for respect of my parent.
Yeah.
So this house is this house is that. Sometimes it's not exactly what I desire. And now I could say that God also play a role because why was I ever creating scenarios in my head that I have not seen anywhere? So that helped me to stay afloat. But later on, it will affect me. It helps me to stay above what my reality was throwing at me. But I was also like just escaping. And it's not the right way to deal with issues.
I get that.
So that's one of the major things that life threw at me as a child. And that's, I grew up daydreaming a lot, excessively. That led to some addictions, some other addictions.
We are coming to that.
And,
All right, thank you so much for that. From what you said, that means loneliness played a very vital role growing up.
yes.
Where was there a time you were very lonely? You felt like this was not emotional, like you were not getting that emotional support you needed as a child.
Of course.
You were comparing your life with certain other people. You did that.
Of course.
Wow.
And loneliness is not always about the absence of people.
Yeah, they can actually be there and you
Yeah,
miss
but
them.
you're still lonely.
Yeah,
that was
got
it.
that.
It was
Wow.
just that.
Actually, what we want to grab here is what lifestyle choices did you make? Like what in particular, what are the decisions you made? For example, like the disciplines you took that get you to because where you are now is where a lot of young girls out there
Want
to be.
Yes. Okay, I would say that one of them will be submitting my life to Christ, one of the decisions I made.
Oh.
Number 2, contending for superior belief system. Yes, I'll say that contending for superior belief system and superior mindsets. Because you see that story I just told, it just a little out of a lot.
Wow.
And that can do something to your mind.
Of course.
It can do something to your mind. It can literally just change your belief system. You feel that this is how life should be, but that is not. So if you continue living like that, I used to tell people, I easily say that if you continue living like your village people, even when you are out of your village, you will get the same result as your village people. So one of the things I did was accepting Jesus. Number 2, contending, because it's not enough to accept Jesus. We have Christians that pray in capital letter tongues, but don't have a transformed mind. It's when real life situation come at them that you will know this person is a mindset is something else. They might even be pastors. And these things play the role in how you lead, who you become, the kind of wife, the kind of husband, the kind of leader you become. So it's just a lot, I won't even be able, but I would just say contend for a superior belief system, change that mindset. So I did, make the conscious decision, and I'm still making that decision till today to become a better version of myself every day.
What happened? What triggered that pursuit? Because nothing happened. I learned to understand that nothing happens by chance. Something must have triggered you to start aspiring for that kind of superior mindset you mentioned.
Yes, because I, as I told you, I was a dreamer. You understand? We are talking about dreamers and high achievers here. I have always been a dreamer. I was a child who wanted more.
Oh, amazing. It has always been in
It had always been there, even at 5. Why will I desire something I've not seen anywhere? I grew up in a small community.
I get you.
So how will I have desired things I've not seen anywhere? It's because I was always dreaming. I wanted more. So that was there. Though it became maladaptive daydreaming, which was negative, but I've always been a dreamer. So when I got out of my village to secondary school, of course, my first secondary school was a boarding school, and then to the higher institution, And a lot of life threw a lot at me even at that point, So I just decided that even now I'm still making that conscious decision every day. It's not a decision you make and go to sleep. No. You keep making that decision and reminding yourself, because see, life will throw stuff at you that at a point you will want to give up. Something will want to tell you that after all, nobody's even doing this thing where I'm coming from. Why am I stressing myself? Let me do you understand? But I keep reminding myself that I must become. I want more. I will not be a reflection of what I saw at home. I'm a first generational curse breaker, if that is a word, and I will break it. So the generation that comes after me will have a platform of leverage. Wow. They wouldn't have to go and start all over again. Imagine my child still contending to know some things in life. No, it should be handed over to them. They think this thing I talk about of not being loved, I know the effect of a neglectful parenting. Or is it neglecting parents? I don't know the word. Is it neglect? Parental neglect. Let's just put it. I know the effect of parental neglect, and I'm going to make a conscious choice that my child wouldn't have to face that. So it comes with who I become first, the kind of man I would choose. Because if I don't become, I don't have a choice in who I will marry. You understand? And then I will get that leverage. Let them start from somewhere. And then a whole lot of things that I didn't get that they will get at the plateau of God. And it's not all about money. Sometimes when you say, I want to change a generation, I want to break generational curse so that my children will live, money is very important. Yes, very important. So there's everyone. But it's not all about that. If you make money, you are wealthy, and there's a kind of mindset to give to your child that they will even squander that money in your absence, and you don't even make any money to them.
I get that, but I'm curious, please, permit me.
Yes.
All this mindset started at that very young age.
Yes.
Okay, that will drive me to the next question.
Please.
As a woman, the generation we are, I think there's a lot of negligence on the feminine side.
Yeah.
Do you get? So I want you to explain to us briefly. As a woman, how do you deal with the pressure in this Gen Z era now? Or don't you feel it at all? How do you deal with the pressure to keep up? Keep up generally, like as a woman, there's this pressure to always fit into the society, always be, just be available, not be that mediocre. Don't you feel that pressure, especially in this Gen Z age we are now?
Of course, I would say that it takes brutal self-awareness to not to feel the pressure. It's not that the pressure is not there.
Okay. It's promise.
It is there, yes, but you are not allowing it get to you because you know who you are.
Wow.
See, one of the things that changed my mind in this area you just asked is, I cannot be everybody. I have to be me. That's where purpose discovering and working in purpose comes in. When you discover who you are called to be and you start living it, no matter what, you are going to feel the pressure, yes, but I cannot be you. I don't want to be you, and you can't be me. And if I shift ground away from the place of my calling, you are not going to take that place because you have your own calling. So no matter what you do, you might be, that's why I say the pressure is there. There are lots of girls doing a lot of things. When you talk about pressure, some even younger, you say Gen Z, younger women becoming, a lot.
Yes.
So you could feel, oh, I'm not doing enough. Yes, it will come, but you remind yourself that I'm here for a purpose, and this is the kind of define your own life.
Okay, basically you are saying that it is best you know yourself first. That is the best way to deal with
at work. Yes. Then when you know yourself, define your life. Let me put it that way. If you define your life now, this is what I'm here to do. So what another person is doing doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. I don't walk into a room feeling like I should be the only one to be noticed. No. I have a level of self-awareness and self-confidence that says, I'm here as me. There are other amazing ladies doing amazing things, but they don't take my place. I don't take their place. They don't dim my lights. I don't dim theirs.
That's amazing.
So I define the life I'm living, and I'm living it.
All right. That's good. Thank you for that.